hello, Kaloo. How are we all doing today? My name is Notepad and I write games for fun, so what are we doing today? Well, today we are going to be going over a game that doesn't have a name yet. Yes. New commission project has come in, this time through our friends over at Stormforge, or Burnt Jester to be precise. Our good friends there. We've talked about them before. Of course, we are on Miro as always. Technically, I can delete the Alona game. Let me just hit the backspace on you. Goodbye, Alona. You are gone now. Keeping this for reasons. Oh, Jesus. Generally speaking, I don't have a name for this game yet. I don't actually have much, because, well, I'm not really working with too much. Let me bring up the, So, what is this game? This unknown name. Currently, Mountain King, Crusader, and Blade. Something else, putty? Like, this is, welcome to the wonderful world of, the worst part of making a game, naming it. That will be always the worst part of any creative process. What do I name it? There's no good way to name anything, by the way. I'll give you that. That's the secret. There's nothing there. Oh, Jesus. People are talking to me. Oh, goodness. But yes, welcome to our commission sheet currently. So, let's just do some quick notes. What are we going through? I've read through this a few times, but we're looking through things. Mountain Blade plus Crusader Kings with legacy mechanics. Legacy mechanics are a big deal, so we have legacy mechanics. This is going to be an interesting part. Evoke the feeling of Mountain Blade and CK for a whole party of players. Party play. Domain play. Mass battles. Tournament. Domain play, everybody. Oh boy, I sure do love domain management. Luckily, we do actually have a big thing of notes to work with, so we're gonna just go through this. We're gonna take just a quick look. We're just gonna go through some ideas and see what we can find. So, currently what he has in here is a D6 system. So currently we've got a let's see. Wants to perform a task, decide there's a chance of failure, do a task, and roll a pool of D6s. So a D6 dice pool, easy enough to do. They are consistent, by the way. Have no fear about consistency. Yo, how's life? Spunbell Drill Rap is fun. I have been doing all right. Today I meant to stream a little bit earlier, but I got caught up in a conversation about Yazeba's bed and breakfast, which I despise. I hate everyone associated with Yazeba's bed and breakfast, because there is nothing good in life about Yazeba's. Yazeba's is a video game in the guise of a man. I will do a quick. We're going over it on Saturday. But I just wanna set you up for what we're working with here. This is what we're working with. Welcome to Yazeba's Online, a game by J Dragon and Possum Creek Games, developers of such well-known products such as Wander Home, the Money Laundering Scheme Edition. Yep, it's going to be painful. It's Habbo Hotel. What? Give money laundering manly. Do you know what Habbo Hotel is? Because Yazeba's bed and breakfast is tabletop role-playing, Habbo Hotel. Do you know when I say the pool's closed? Does that make any sense? Pool's closed first thing. There's a good chance you know what Habbo Hotel is, even if you don't. If this looks familiar at all, that's Habbo Hotel. It's Habbo Hotel, the tabletop role-playing game as written by a cretin. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm going to want to die. It's going to be great. So, let's see. What dice is added to each attribute being used? So D6, 4 up success. 4 up success. Alright, easy enough to be doing. Various checks. He does look like if we do skills at 100, like even like 100, even like skills at 10s, stats at 1s, that could work. That's easy enough to do. Even if you don't have any skill in anything, you can still do it. Wasn't it marketed as Hobo Hotel? No, you're thinking of Hobo Wars. Anyone remember Hobo Wars? That's what I played a lot. That was my game of choice. God, Hobo Wars. That's even a thing. I don't even know if that's still around. Fucking God. It's been 84 years. Let's see. So, let's see. Regardless of difficulty, determine has advantage. Disadvantage can be by perk. A dissect would be correct for an average character. Something about the player's brought the counter has given them a disadvantage. Yeah, okay. Critical success. So we can add in crits. We could probably add in crits and fumbles. That wouldn't be too difficult to do. Core system is easy enough to hammer out. Yeah, there we go. See, this is very nice when there's actually a lot of things here, so I can get to reference it. There will be things that are changed, but let's see. So, whomever has the most successes wins of the opposed dice check. Different effects on things. Character creation. Let's go to the Bannerlord character. Oh yeah. We're so fucking back. Not a lot of character skills. We're working on things, you know, 5 stats, no skills, split the difference. Yeah, as you can kind of as you can somewhat see. We're not working with too much here. Granular progression, skill levels increase more they are used. They mark dedicated space. Skill level of 1 for skill levels below 0. 1 dice check is. Don't like this bit. You know, for example, player skill level 45. They'll need to do 4 dice checks in order to increase skill level to 46. Increase skill by 25. Unlock a perk. So we do want Bannerlord, Boyar Lord perk system thing. All right, we can work with that. Abstract. God, Hobo Wars is still around. Jesus. So we were doing Incest Murder Simulator version number 5. Yes, we are doing version number 5. Because we've already technically wrote this game before. Like, that's the funny part. This is literally just going to be Blood, Coin, and Steel, but we're going to make it a little bit different. We're going to make things different. Because we're adding the Mountain Blade aspect to things. Yeah, let's see. Pose dice check, standard skill to get a dice pool. So actually, combat is combat round based. Retaliatory? Maybe we can work on retaliatory attacks. So pretty much getting into a fight would be me grabbing all my d6s, you grabbing all your d6s. And then we just roll off to see who scores the most successes. I've got 2 successes, he's got 3 successes, he's blocked my blow. But we can maybe add in like parries and counterattacks and things like that. That wouldn't be too difficult to do. Alright, easy enough to do. Damage based on armor stats. Add in a successful die. We do want hit locations. So we do want hit locations. Okay, easy enough. Like, dice spending. Let's see. We're working with things. By 2d6 plus tactics. Formation. So we do need a formation system. Formation system for warband tier. Like, warband tier combat. Because it's not necessarily going to be personal, it's going to be like battles of armies, you know, which abstract actions and formations. Third in the war, stacked only to dice checks, can be done quickly and easily. We can probably steal some things. Domain management, campaign, and the hearth season, so we can do season, so it's seasonal stuff. Players start the game as members of a single class and most of the clan killed. Generic creator created a rival clan for them. As such, they are landless, penniless, and without an army. So it's pretty much like, hey, it's the opening to Bannerlord. Where's the archery, cheese, and lance spam? The obligatory naked guy with two-handed sword whacking everyone in PvP. Naked guys are scary. Half an hour standing atop of a wall, bashing people coming up one by one on the ladder with a hammer. Also, blunt damage is always non-lethal. See, here's the thing. This was a very important note that I learned very early on. Very detailed, this gets compromised. The more legacy mechanics you put in, the less people want to actually switch out their characters. So that's going to be their own thing. So we are going to need tourney. We're going to need tourney stuff. So that's kind of important. Domain management. It's a very particular name. There's a very particular thing when it comes to the clan. Mountain Blades Kingdom domain management based around a hex map of the land. We do need a hex map. Yes, we're going to make a hex map. How are we going to do this? I don't fucking know. We can definitely wing it, though. Clan base, house, family of the party. House, family of the party. So we do want to do familial based thing. Familial base. So, clan's relationship with other entity will be based on two attributes: love and fear. So actually, we can work with this, actually. See, the clan is going to have its own attributes, stats, and skills. The clan is its own character. Attributes, skills, abilities, etc. Only mean both the domain, military, clerical. 3x3, 3x3 grid of domains. Again, these work. We can probably rework the idea of what castles and such are. We might even be able to add a fourth option, which would be more, a little bit more esoteric. The shrooms have no effect still. There will be no shrooms. Let's see. Mostly income. So we do income soldiers piety. So we can have the dynamic of piety, glory, and gold. That's going to be our how we're going to split things up. Holding slots. Both number will depend on the arbitrarily and resources of hex. Holding slots it'll have. So we do need hexes have resources. Hexes have resources. This is intentional, so infrastructure is seasonal, might be year-long things. And domains have wealth is fortification, so we're going to fortification, which indirectly does mean we're going to have like siege mechanics. Oh boy, siege mechanics. Oh boy. Alright. Let's click on the banner lord hoarding. Yeah, you kind of see. Yep, looks like he is doing directly, if we are directly citing the Crusader Kings 2 castle system. Alright. Bannerlord video game stats. And yeah, so he just took stats from the video game to double check everything. Alright. He just took a bunch of that to kind of find out what the averages were. Smart move. Very good. I like that. Okay. I know that's not everybody, but it's giving an idea enough. Okay, so primarily we're going to be breaking it down into 3 methods of play. This is the important thing. We're going to do personal. We're going to do personal, band, and domain. Those are our 3 tiers. Actually, if we want to do this correctly, tiers of play. Tiers of play. We're going to do core system. Tiers of play. We're going to have. The man, we're going to do the man, the family, the castle, the whole, the domain, we'll call it. The domain. The core actual honest to God system is going to be we can probably just do a D6 dice pool. Nice and easy, very simple. It is going to be D6 dice pool. We then base it off of skills and attributes. If we want to keep things nice and easy, as easy is good. Tell me about. So our basic stats really do boil down to vigor, control, endurance, cunning, social, and intelligence. That's option A. We then go to Crusader King. Crusader Kings has martial stewardship, scheming, intrigue. That's it. It's intrigue, martial stewardship, intrigue, diplomacy, because diplomacy is not an option. Fuck, what's the 5th one? You can tell that's not the one I chose very often. Let's do CK. No, CK3 stats. Double check here. Oh yeah, CK3 actually got rid of the stats, didn't they? It's learning. That's it. Learning. It's you kind of see there is some things that are split between the two pretty easily. What's this game about? I'll hail the Britannian flats and their ops that one-tap heavy armored knights. Incest and Murder Simulator number 5, but different. Yes, we're doing another dynastic game. Why are we going with a D6? Because that's what he has recommended. That's what he put in his notes, that he wanted a D6. So we can work with the D6 dice pool pretty easy. And mostly it's going to keep things flowing. So I am okay with things that flow. That, and we could probably do some dice tricks. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because we need to put perks in for things. That's going to be kind of one of its own things. So let's sub you out for intrigue, can be subbed out for cunning. Diplomacy can be just social. Learning, social, cunning, and stewardship can be subbed out for, well, honestly, putting in martial is just kind of its own thing. Like, this is just your martial skill, and we put in vigor. So we use these if these are our core stats: martial, vigor, stewardship, cunning, social, and learning. That does cover everything, and it does give. It does allow Murder Man. You know, it's something you can't just make. I'm combat McCombat Man, because if you're combat McCombat Man, you may not be. You know, you may not have these other things. What's a dice trick? Dice tricks can be anything. Let's say, for example, you have a 3d6. We roll 3d6. I roll a 6, 1, and a 2. Man, that sucks. So, but let's say I might have a dice trick saying, hey, any ones you roll, re-roll them. I rolled a 6 on my 1 now. I might have a dice trick saying, hey, any dubs I roll, any 2 of the same dice I roll, I get a different effect with it. Or, hey, any 6s I have to re-roll them and take the lower result. Those are dice tricks. They allow you to do things. You can also do things such as roll, like, it's 3d6 system, but you roll and you have to take away one of your dice. So you only get 2d6, but you usually take away the worst. So it's like, damn, you know, something has gone wrong. There's a lot of plays you can do with that. It's not like it's an official term or anything, but that's what they are. They're tricks. Things you can do. Any system can have dice tricks. It's D6 dice tricks are just easy to pull off because they're just there. Let's see. If we want to keep skill, we want to keep skills very simple. If we want to keep skills very simple, we can probably do... See, part of me legitimately just wants to have melee and ranged as combat stats. Being like, do you have melee? Do you have ranged? If the answer is yes, you are doing melee, you are doing ranged. Very simple, very to the point. But if you're focusing on those, you're probably not focusing on other parts of your character. That's the thing. Because if we go under... If we break things down, let's just do our... Let's take our skills here a little real fast. Let's take all our attributes. We take all our attributes. Martial, melee, ranged. Maybe we do like tactics. You can always get tactics. Tactics does jack shit outside of combat. If you're not in combat, your martial skills mean nothing. Maybe you don't want to play a martial character, but maybe you are all playing martial characters. Who knows? Who knows? An idea. We're currently just throwing shit at the wall currently. That's all we're doing. We're throwing shit at the wall. Stewardship. I mean, if we're looking at this, if we're looking at cunning, we can do roguery. Roguery is a pretty cool skill. Scouting. All right. Social. Charm. Leadership. Trade. Always easy enough to understand. Stewardship. All right. So we do, if we say we have 3 per. So medicine, engineering, vigor. We can do riding, athletics. Actually, not physique, physicality. Physicality is a really nice, simple way of wording this. Just, are you a strong, are you a fast, are you a well-to-do individual? Are you a tough person? If you're a tough person, you're going to be better off at doing things. Higher toughness rating, effectively. Let's think. What other skills can we have? What's actually, adroitness. So, learning, medicine, engineering. So we want to heal others. We want to fix something. We want to... Actually, if we break stewardship down into the 3 things, we can do, satisfying the peasantry. Actually, let's do, that would be the guilds. If we do the guilds, the church, shift leadership up to here, the army. Then we do church, military, guild, the church, the army. I mean, we can probably keep it to 3. And actually, we can give social something a little bit different, so we can make that tied more to... Social week would be the man, etiquette, the noble. So it would be the noble. What would be another good one for social? You're trying to be a sociable person. Let's see. If you're being charming is like, I'm being like, the people like me, normal people like me. Not, people, I'm more, actually, no, we can do, more personal, more addressing of nobility. What would be a good term for addressing, what's that term? I mean, populist, but that would be like, yeah, I want to do like addressing normal fucking peasantry. Like, that's kind of the idea. Being like, etiquette is going to be among the nobles because there's going to be a nobility factor to things. But there's always going to be that undercurrent of like, how do I dress normal fucking people? Bodiness? Etiquette, synonym. Protocol, decorum, form. Actually, we can probably change etiquette to decorum. It gives it a little bit more. How do I want to word this? It's not decorum. What would you be referring to if you want to talk to someone, if you're trying to be like, I'm hip with the kids? Fuck, I don't know. Let's see. So riding, you want to be physical. I mean, I guess we can. No, not manners. Manners is like decorum would be speaking. The best way to think about it is you are a medieval lord, or you're a vaguely, you know, important person with a little. You have a title at this point. You're gonna speak to Lord Barnaby with decorum. How are you gonna speak to Barney the Guard? The same ways you're going to be wording things is going to be different. It's more populist speaking, more speaking to the regular man. I want to split that up because it's kind of it would be a way for casual, casual conversation. What's another word for casual conversation? Let's find that. Another word for casual conversation. Chatty, gabby, chatter, blather. Pleasantries, chit chat, chit chat, formal talk. Fuck is this word? I've never heard of this word before. Causerie. Informal. Actually, we do. Blather. Is blather a good word for this? Informal. Banter, that's a good word. Banter. Banter, there we go. So yeah, you banter with your men, you speak with decorum to nobles. If you have really high decorum, that means you really only talk to the best way to think about it. Someone with really high decorum and really low banter is someone who legitimately is like, oh, hello peasants, how are you? Hello you, haha, hee hee. Like, you can clearly know they're talking down to you. Someone with really, yeah, pedantic. If you're really high banter, low decorum, you are speaking very informally to people you should not. He's like, hey, what's up, bruh? It would be like referring to your boss as, hey, bro, how you doing? It's like, oh, that's completely not how you speak. That's faux pas in the making. That is a faux pas in the making. It is not good for you in the slightest. Sup, your majesty, what you doing today? Like, yeah, that'd be kind of the idea. Like, you're being incredibly informal, and that is not good. Charm, however, I don't know how, like, there should be another one there, and I don't quite know how to word charm. But the idea behind charm would be, these are more personal people. This is a close friend of yours, and you're trying to, like, convince them. They could be of a completely different, social class than you, but, one to represent the bourgeoisie. I guess actually we can do, we can add in language. Actually, that would be a good, Mm. Bronzing. Business. I mean, I wonder what you would call. Word for business talk. Serious talk shop, confer, consult, discuss, conspire, negotiate. That could work, negotiate. You don't need to talk up to them. You don't need to talk down. You're not trying to convince others to talk down to them. You're actually just speaking to them in a very formal sense. We already have a few. We've got trade up here. So we've got all of this. Currently we need, I would say we need one more for vigor, one more for learning. We break it up to vigor. What would be a good strength? If we're getting the idea of like how tough you are, how big you are, how like I'm a big tough guy who's big and tough and stuff. Endurance maybe? That work? Endurance could work maybe? Vigor, yeah. Well, that's the name. That's the name of the skill. That's the problem. Vigor is going to be kind of like our. I guess we could put it more of like a. You could say we could put in willpower there. That could be a good one. But half of me doesn't really want to put in like a willpower stat. Stamina would be a good idea, but stamina feels like it should be a derived stat more than anything. So I'm trying to go like back and forth. I'm like, And these are going to be our consistent skills. These are things that are going to consistently build up over time, and we're going to, once we have done, we're going, these are what's going to define us and how we choose to adopt certain situations. These make the man, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think of what would be a good skill in this one. Like, I guess we can put labor in there. Labor being like crafting and building things. Like, yeah, you're gonna use labor for this because you're just working on building something. But that kind of falls into engineering as well. I mean, so, it's a weird one. This is a strange one. Oh no, what would be a good strength skill? Let's look. Okay, thank you, Paradox. Fuck you, Paradox. Not natural dread. We want to find. Trying to think of like. Evil. I'm trying to think, what would be a good... I guess we can do... Symmetries are fine. Force, speed. I guess we could break up... I guess labor will have to do. I guess it would work. It's not perfect, but it works. We need one more for learning. So if we want to find one for learning. Learning. We want to be a smart cookie. I want to be a smart cookie. Be a smart man. What would I do to be a smart man? Intelligence and history. Actually, we can probably do history. If we do that for history, so... Okay, so if we do these for our skills... That for our skills, but... We do, Spread our skills around a little bit. So it's kind of, stewardship is going to be kind of one of those things where it's like, well, this doesn't seem very valuable to me because I'm a warrior man. But it's just like, yeah, you want to start ruling a kingdom, you want to start actually being productive in life, then yeah, guess what? You're going to have to start investing in stewardship. That's going to be just something you have to start investing in to be a good ruler. And that's always going to be the problem, being like, yeah, I don't really... This whole ruling thing isn't really for me. Which happened a lot in history, actually. Hey, I got here. I don't really give a shit about this whole ruling thing. I mean, that was pretty much the story of Alexander the Great, pretty much. It's like, yeah, I don't really Yeah, I know I'm like the conquering hero of all, you know, of Anatolia or whatever. I really don't care. Yeah, I really don't. I don't really care for any of this other bullshit. We can do ideas of... Actually, we could probably drop crits. We can do maybe like degrees of success. If we do degrees of success, that would also make the dice we can spending dice on further things a little bit more valuable. Because like, oh, you only need 2 to succeed. I've got 3 successes. I can now spend that 1 degree of success on something, but we can also then flip it around to degrees of failure. Alright, I think this should work just fine. It's not perfect. We need some derived attributes, but that I was kind of expecting to occur. What about trade? Would that be a good sub-skill? Trade is here, stewardship, in the stewardship category. The idea for trade, the idea of stewardship is effectively all your martial skills are, I am in the field, I have a sword in my hand, I have a shield in my other, I'm gonna beat you to death. I'm gonna hit you with my sword until you stop moving. The vigor stuff is doing stuff. Am I, you know, riding my horse around? Am I trying to pull off cool horse tricks? Okay. Am I trying to leap from building to building? Am I trying to, you know, do something more physical? There. Am I trying to just to perform labor? Am I trying to build something? Am I trying to fletch something? That's would be that. Stewardship, on the other hand, is the management of things. How do I manage the trade? How do I manage faith? How do I manage the leadership? You know, how do I manage my army? How do I manage the faith? And how do I manage the guilds? And kind of one of those things which is like, what would you make a stewardship trade roll on? Probably during during the hearth phase more than anything, where you'd be making those checks, but also a lot more of like decision-making stuff, in which we could probably tie the stewardship stuff to, we might be able to tie that to more, like, they're not immediate benefits to your day-to-day activities. They're more beneficial to that domain phase. Yeah, this is a character who's very good at trade. He's got really good ins with the guilds. He is very popular among them. During the domain phase, he's going to be able to add his stewardship to things because that's the thing he's working on. That is his thing that he is doing. However, off-season, he's very good at he can still leverage that to maybe get some bonuses. Because he probably has high negotiate at that point. Probably has high engineering or high history. He's got something else in addition to that stewardship. Again, this is kind of the one that I'm like not 100% on, but it could work. Stewardship also lets you dodge income taxes. Yeah, the idea behind like that would be, hey, like leadership, what we can probably do with leadership is just the idea of like how many dudes can you actually move around? Like how many guys are actually actively listening to your ass? Which everyone's going to have something in these skills. You're not going to have a lot, but it's like, hey, are you a commander type? Yeah. If you are a commander type person, you probably are going to want decent leadership, so these fuckers listen to you. Please lead our men to glory, sir. We don't want to die. So that's easy enough. I think this should work for the system. I mean, if we look here, I mean, if we do... The perk system is going to be a little bit bonkers, but... I mean, if we go over here to tiers of play, so we've got the man. So we're going to be doing, quote, adventuring, but how do I want to word this? This is where things start getting a little bit complicated. Because in Mount and Blade, Mountain Blade looks like this. Mountain Blade is effectively a sandbox RPG about you being a bunch of you being a dude leading a bunch of armies to do dude things. We're getting into a fight to do something. We've got some of the classic factions. Yeah, because we've got some of like the basic I actually looked at fucking lore, mind you, for the I'll have you all know, I did look at the lore for this game. It was awful. Like, Bannerlord 2 has actually a lot of stuff going on in Caldaria. It's a very fascinating situation that they're in. Mind you, we're going to be playing these guys, the clans. You know, companions, your clicks, help them utilize their skill. The party leader can hold any roles they've not been assigned. You know, what is the clan? Your clan is like your thing, if that makes sense. Like, okay, it's the Pethros clan. Are you part of the clan? They're like a family, you could say. This is the family of here, but they're not really the families. They're not families, but they are families. That's kind of the one of those weird things. You effectively have families that are all working together in the various clans. Like if we just do the Battanians, good old Battanians, all the various Battanian clans. So if you go to Fengal, these are our 4, but we have a cousin here. Head of the clan, governor, wife, daughter. Various owned settlements and stuff like that. So you, for lack of a better word, you're playing these guys. This is who you're playing as. You're playing as these 3 goobers as they run around the field doing things. Hey, who are you playing? What's our character? These guys. It's Fenda. We're playing the Fendaral clan. We're playing the Ragged. That's what we're doing. Woo! Yeah, clan are extended family and retainers. That's the idea. Like, there's glory and death. What do you mean? It's basic. There was once an empire, went to hell. Now the successor states want to be the Empire 2.0. Is the lore everyone's kill each other and take over? Also feudalism. Clans are extended family and retainers. Exactly. That's kind of the idea. It's the fact that it is not. How do I want to word this? There's not as much formality as like this is a noble house. It's. You don't have that formality, I'm thinking. That's what I'm going to try to, like, emphasize, is like, yeah, anyone can become part of your clan, eventually. You have a family, don't forget about. The family is the most important aspect of the clan, but people can join in. The whole clan shtick makes me think of King of Dragon Pass. Oh yeah, we're bringing in King of Dragon Pass a little bit. I still want the RPG of that game. Do you mean you want Glorantha? Let's see. We want, so adventuring. Adventuring around the map, which we want to do early game. Early game is being bitch boy to the local lords as a vague mercenary, group. And then we do mid-game. Then we do kind of the idea of mid-game. Mid-game is owning territory and expanding the influence. Late game is the power play. Late game is the power plays and decisive. That's kind of the idea is like, this is the traditional Boyar Lord experience, or you can even say Crusader Kings experience. You are a dude, you go to owning a lot more places. Here's your late games, you're making the big plays. Now, if we want, now mind you, the commissioner has not detailed much else, if that makes sense. I love character creation rule. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this apocalyptic war. Somebody's not in depth with possible. I mean, I'm not in depth with the play a little game that lets you exactly Pendragon 5e. Like, yeah, it's, the thing is, life path systems are fun, and he does want a life path system, so we can integrate that very easily, in fact. That's fine. Has that by, yeah. There's a new game taking out during the apocalypse, right? You can use that. Yeah, exactly. Boyar Lord legitimately has one already. It probably won't be direct because we don't have a setting yet. We don't have a name for this game yet, guys. There is no name. That's the funny thing. There is no, how do I want to do this? What the fuck? Mount Case, there's a little more murder. Yeah, we don't have a name for that yet, so we're working on that. We don't have a map or anything, which, by the way, is going to be its own set of nightmares. So, here's the thing. This is, let me do a Caldaria, Mount and Blade map. So, this is Caldaria. This is the actual map of the Boyar Lord. So if we just paste this in here, this gigantic fucking map, we're gonna paste this in here. Now, this is a very specific way of how this is structured. So let's go to this province right here. Now you see this province right here. This is the main area. This is the main domain. Let's actually, can we make this? This is our main domain of this area. This would be our civic hold. So let me just, this would be our civic hold. Now, we may not own this yet. However, here and here would compose two additional areas that we can own. Now, this is where things start getting weird. Caldaria is fucking huge. Like you can even see over here, there's a lot of map to work with. So I decided to look at something a little bit different. Birthright D&D map. Say hello to the map of Birthright. Birthright was a interesting thing back in the 90s. It was, hey, we want to make effectively like domain play the role-playing game for D&D 2nd edition. Now, all of these places you see here, every single one of these little provinces here, you can kind of see where I'm doing it. Those have, each of one of those is technically a different area of one of these places, a much larger zone, you could say. So one person might, One person might own this, and one person might own all of these territories. Another person might own all of these territories. But oh no, we also have a big split here. You know, there's a conflict brewing over here. There's like, everyone's kind of fighting one another. It's a mess. As you can tell, that is one section of this entire fucking map. We need to create a map. We need to create a map of interesting things occurring. How do we do that? I prefer to play King Arthur, Prophecy of Pendor. I like the mods. I played a lot of... This is going to be silly. I played a lot of the original Mountain Blade. I played a lot of original Mountain Blade with the 1866 mod. The fucking Wild West mod is the coolest fucking thing ever. It was super cool. It was just fun. Play like robbing banks, shooting people. It's great. For the Chinese or something too in your good called area. Let's see. Yeah, throw it out. You know, trying to pronounce it correctly, so it's fine. Calradia. So this is how you're gonna do macro so how are you gonna do macro territories? Man, I don't fucking know. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I don't make maps. He wants an established map, man. I don't know what I'm doing here. I need a cartographer. I need a fucking cartographer. This is Cyrillia. We're gonna have to call it something with a C, obviously. Oh yeah. God, yeah, we're using an auto generator on the map. Don't you think that anything else. Like, let's see. Asgar's fantasy map generator. I would not remotely try to attempt to make maps at this point. You'll die. So if we go to good old map generator, you know, fantasy map generator. So you see, there's a lot, like, we could do things pretty well here. You see, we do break things up. What I would probably have to do is let me see. We wouldn't want... No, I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. Ah! Like, let's see. Style, nope. Fail. Cyberpunk monochrome. Nope, definitely not that. Clean. Absolutely not. Atlas. That looks painful. Light. That looks even worse. Bloom. All. Can I remove color? Like, yeah, we're gonna have to use like a map generator or something similar to this, and there's things that I will need to edit around effectively. But oh, I can just install this. But as you can kind of see, we're going to have to generate a map. Once we generate a map, we're going to have to probably go in here and then, for lack of a better word, how every single province is going to end up looking. We're going to carve out our little area, kind of trying to find natural borders or whatever, and then we're going to say this area has 4 holdings in it. This is level 1, level 1, 1. This is a level 3. Just do that. Probably it's like for every level 2, you need pretty much to build a foundation. You can't have a castle in the middle of nowhere. Like, you can't just have Ortengard here. You need Ortengard and 3 of the areas to support it. Little holdings build into bigger holdings. No, tools make a note of that as Pangea. Yeah, we'll probably... I'll have to do that. It's a little bit difficult to do it in this just because I'm fucking streaming. Calderia. Is you already mispronounced. Search map and be more central pen. Yeah. Again, it's because I'm streaming, it's having a little bit of a stroke. But to effectively create this correctly, I'm going to actually have to find either a calculation or a way to do things to say, hey, because there are 3 smaller holdings here, you can be a level 3 holding. Because there's only 2 holdings here, you're a level 2 holding. Because there's 2 here, no, actually there's 3, you're a level 3. Kind of, because the thing is, there is consistency here. This is the interesting thing. Because if you've noticed, a lot of these who have 3, if you have 3, most likely you're going to be a city. But if you only have 2, you're probably going to be a castle. But the hard part is trying to find certain areas to really define it. That is going to be a process. I will sit in this is going to be a process in which I will sit in chat probably one day, and we'll just generate hundreds of maps and just look through them. Sometimes castles have 1, but that's about it. Yeah. Colorado is already squished Europe. Yeah, we like Colorado is squished Europe. I don't know what you're talking about. Big Turkey. Yeah, we don't talk about the little islands here either. We don't talk about boats. Yeah, Birthright, things are a little bit more complex. And yes, in case you're wondering, you can go to every single one of these areas. Every single one is detailed. Because Birthright is autism, and what I can do, this is I'll deviate a little bit here just because I can this is Birthright Gorgon's Alliance. This is an actual full-on like RPG from back in the day. It's abandonware, mind you. It is impossible to buy the game. Evil this, and it's a full-on like dungeon crawler. It's like a little weird, stupid war game. It's not very good. But it's also like this full-on like domain management system. It takes place in a very small area of the actual map. I believe it's right here, if I recall correctly. Yes, it's right here. This is where the entire game takes place. As you can tell, it's like a 1/5 of the map, of the full map. But yeah, but there's a lot that's going on, so we don't need to make it like super huge. Give me one moment. I need to send my friend. Need to send a friend image of a FurryCon badge. Very important. Since October will be here soon, what trick-or-treating was like since I never got to experience. I would like to make a trick-or-treat RPG just for fun. Trick-or-treating was fun. Again, it's one of those things, like, I don't even know if he wants, like, do you want magic in this? I have no idea if he even wants, like, magic. It could be legitimate. I am working off of fucking nothing here. We are working off nothing. And that, my friend, is the real pain. Let me see. I still have my... I still have all my UK photos. Low fantasy. Yeah, my bet is low fantasy gaming 100% and all that jazz, but it's like, can we maybe work with this? What's going on? How are we doing? Let's see. That's way too late. That's way too far back. This is ancient lore at this point. Ancient phone lore with notepad. I'll have to hunt that down. I might not have it anymore. I'll have to hunt my friend down and give him his furry badge. Ooh. Woohoo! Woohoo! Ow. Bones in the ocean. Yeah, I'm assuming there's going to be no magic, but yeah, Birthright is welcome to Birthright. So let me think. So this is going to be the, how do I want to word it? This is going to be a complicated thing because, for lack of a better word, we need to get to here fast. Like, relatively speaking, we need to get to this section of the game a lot faster than you normally would think. Who's pinging me now? Yeah, effectively, like, we need to hit the point of like the 3x3 domain, 3x3 domains, 3x3 domains, which is going to be faith, civic, and military holdings. So we need the 3x3 domains and effectively control. Then we could probably do. We're going to break that up into the adventure hearth phases. Effectively, during the adventure phase, you're going out and doing things. During the hearth season, you are not. During the hearth season, you hang out at home, you do harvest stuff, you hang the fuck out, and you are vibing currently. You do not want to leave because it is cold and miserable outside, and you will die, and everyone's going to make fun of you. But we need to effectively get you to that domain section a lot faster than you think. And I think that's going to be an interesting situation because the man must worry about his faith. Well, actually, we can talk his piety. We must worry about our glory. And we must importantly worry about our money. We need to worry about money. We need to worry about gold. Gold, glory, and piety. The most important things you can actually figure out. Birthright, the concept, or the TSR game. So the Pendragon phases, yes. And for lack of a better word, yes, the Pendragon phase. The sit around and do nothing phase of the game. Birthright the concept would be really fun to do as a game. Could it make it work? I don't know, but I could try it. TSR is also, the TSR version of Birthright was just flawed. It was a beautifully flawed game. Very odd. It was a very strange game of a very strange time. Now so we need to worry about this. Your family is going to be, of course, we're going to have to add in the idea of the legacy mechanics. This is where things start getting a little bit complicated. But your legacy is your family. That's kind of the idea. I'm expecting a full game will be 3 to 4 generations. Making a call saying a full game will be 3 to 4 generations because generally speaking, I have no idea what else to do beyond that. I think it's gonna wear itself thin pretty quickly. But again, this kind of falls into that how do I want to, that kind of falls into this issue where this phase is the fun phase, but this phase does not interact with any of this shit. This is a completely non-issue to this first phase of the game. This part of the game, like these two parts, interact with these two entities a lot easier. Now that's a lot more consistent. So either we have two options. Either we completely get rid of the early game, what we would consider the normal early game of Mount and Blade, or we change the nature of the early game into being something else. That's where things get complicated. Do any of you have any opinions on the matter? Feel free to tell me. I am currently thinking. Because if we go under the idea that, yeah, you need to ask the commissioner on that one. It's kind of a larger philosophical question of, do you want to have that domain play as a reward, or do you want to have that domain play built into it right away? You see, the mid-game could be the most dangerous from an institutional level, like setting up. Because usually what occurs in a Mount and Blade game, you build up your power, your influence, and all that. You join a faction or start your own, and then you start playing politics effectively. You start cutting deals, you start getting fights with other people, and that's kind of the idea. Like early game Crusader Kings is a little bit different. You could call the early game of Crusader Kings the early mid game for Mount and Blade. You've conquered your kingdom, you have a piece of land, what do you do with it? And that's kind of the interesting part there. It leads to an interesting situation, a very interesting call. Like getting cities, villages, castles to get income. Do you want to start as, you are a clan you own some territory. What is the situation you find yourself in? You're a clan, you own territory, this is everybody who rules this area, fuck you, let's go. Like, oh, alright, okay, this is a little bit hectic all of a sudden, this is a little bit spooky, oh no. Combat is fairly dangerous, you want to pass on that legacy pretty quickly. You have a family though, you have people you care about, and it's like, hey, this is how we're doing things. It's alternatively, we can also do the initial, if we start with the initial bit of Mount and Blade stuff, is you are a fucking homeless person effectively. With that homeless person energy, you recruit a bunch of other homeless people, you beat up other homeless people, until you raise in power of the homelessness ladder, until someone says, hey, you're very spooky, I'm going to give you resources to make sure you're no longer home. It's crackhead energy. That's where things start getting complicated. It's just like, okay, so where do we want to start? Birthright kind of gets around that by virtue of the regions. Because if you're a regent, if you have the divine right to rule, you are effectively your own king. And others understand that you are your own king, because you are literally empowered by God. God has given you the authority to rule, and that's it. Have fun, asshole. Bohemian energy, yes. Bohemia, Bohemia, the fallacy in your mind. Bohemia is dead. Also have feuds and rivals with allies and such, and adventures that follow us through the game. That's, again, that is the traditional Mount and Blade way of doing things. I have gotten, I've impressed this local lord enough. He's my friend. He's been with us the entire time. I am his friend. He's my friend. He's the one who vouched for me to pretty much swear my oath. And now my family's indebted to him, and our families go through the history of our families being friends with one another. Our companionship is, through a lot more, and then we can kind of have that dynastic idea of like, hey, dynastically speaking, we are incredibly close. We are friends. We are people. We are individuals who work together, who have, a long history together, and our families are united in maybe more than a few ways. That could be interesting. However, that's also one of the weird moments. It's like, hey, what now? Like, but leading up to that, it's like half the game just doesn't matter. That's the weird part of the class by which right you have authority, numbers, faith, blood, money, magic. Authority, numbers, faith, blood, money, magic. Currently the actual way in Caldaria, how it works in Caldaria is fuck you, got mine. Do I have men? Yes. Am I strong? Yes. I have a right to rule. And everyone's like, yeah, you have a right to rule. In Birthright, it's literally the blood, which blood is, if you're blooded, if you're a regent, you have the magic. And everyone's like, oh, you're the scariest motherfucker I know. Please go away. You scare me, and I don't want to die. That's where that kind of like, do we want a fantastical element to this? Do we want a fantastical bent to this? That adds a completely different sense of the ideas when it comes to this game, which is going to be something I'm going to have to ask him, being like, how do you want to do this? We've got a few ideas. You want to keep it very low fantasy with like barely any fantasy. It's just dudes in armor pretty much. Do we want to make fucking Harn, or do we want to make Birthright? I mean, every clan character focuses on one of those. Which, mind you, that also reminds me. Thank you, Wuso, for reminding me. The fucking domain has its own stats. Yeah, like, the domain itself has its own stat block. So that's going to be its own thing entirely. And so it's like, ooh, oh, goodness, ooh, all right. E. I suppose stuff like, well, Pophex, like, currently from what I've been able to get out of him, this is it. We want to find, ba-da-da-do-do-do-do-do. So if we go under here and we go under how the domain works, it's like, okay, like we got clerical castles, we've got hexes, different holdings in them because it's a hex crawl game as well. Currently, it's like, oh, holdings have 2 stats, wealth and fortifications. So it's like, all right, what do you want for the domain stuff, though? It's like, well, it just has stats. Modifiers, It just has stats. The clan has stats. Not necessarily the domain. The family has stats. The family has stats. Not necessarily the domain, but the domain might have stats, and the family. We're operating on multiple tiers of fucking play here. So it's going to be a little bit funky. So I need to keep things as... How do I want to word it? I need to keep things streamlined. That is a very important factor to this. I need to keep things streamlined to make sure that it actually fucking works. Man makes the clan, which makes the domain. We do faith creates piety. Faith creates piety. Civic creates money. Military create. So we have a necessary income of the big three. We have an income of the big three. Those are what things we want. The domain stats. Domain stats. I mean, if we keep it to 3, we can do Actually, we can just ignore that, if anything. And then we just give the clan a variety of stats. See, if we want to, if we really want to, what we could do is do it like this, which would be Marshall would be turned into militarism, power, maybe something like that. We give the clans, it's like, hey, how militaristic is your clan? How powerful is your clan? Like, you can probably shun one of them, but it's kind of like the idea of being like, is your clan known for something? So yeah, I guess we would put in the CK3 family dynasty legacies and stuff like that. And that would be the legacy, and you would just be rolling on these things for that bonus or something. Let's see. So I mean, Bannerlord, Mount and Blade, Bannerlord, succession. If I die, how does succession work? I have a kingdom, I have 3 sons and 3 settlements under my control. Son assigns government or settlement. When I die, I can pick it. So hypothetically, who will get what? Whenever you pick the play as and you get control of everything and you currently have control of, you can pick anyone in your clan. No clans own things. No, clans own things, not clan members. That's actually a very interesting note. Clans own things, not clan members. Maybe we even like, maybe we even kind of take the idea of the domain and just put it into the clan. Like, that's the entire game. So the entire game is not necessarily the adventure of, you know, John Boyar Lord, you know, fucking John Boyar Lord in his fucking Minecraft helmet, I guess. Not his story necessarily. It's the story of the family and the people associated with the family. And all the interconnected drama that it has with those situations. And all the problems that erupt, all the problems that do not erupt, and all of the people that get involved with one another gradually over time. And then who suddenly is belonging to who, and then who suddenly dies early, who dies young. And then it's a whole mess of people dying, of people living, of so if we do this idea, it's kind of the idea like the fucking domain system would be, domains would legitimately just be a method to do things. You have in your clan, you have three civic buildings, you have 2 religious buildings, and you have a military building. You make a lot of money, you make a lot of piety, you don't get a lot of troops though. So what do you do in that situation? Well, we make a lot of money, so we need to hire mercenaries. We need to leverage the faith to get some holy warriors and things like that. You can always have to compensate. Just a big flat set of resources. Domain is a resource game. How do we do that? We're increasing the resources. We are improving our domain to give us more resources. That's all it's going to be. It's going to be nothing more advanced than that. If we do that, that could work. Be a little bit weird. But I guess if we do that game. What was that game that came out? Scottish clan game. Clan folk. Agony. Oh, they're still up. Well, they're still updating it at least. I honestly thought this game would end development the second they unleashed the fucking mechanics for fucking the biological one. Yeah, clans not only family, traders, travelers, neighbors seek to work with visit, give an opportunity to make new friends and coin growing your settlements. Mm. So if we do the idea... Oh, Scottish Rimworld. We can't see Scotlerus. Yeah, it's Scottish Rimworld, but with more alcohol. I mean, there is that Calderis game. What do you mean that Calderis game? Yeah, I got no idea what you're talking about. There's a few good Kagura Baking. Hello. I mean, if we go on the idea, if we go under the idea that the clan is the most important facet of the game, you have your family, we can probably remove the concept of, hey, you're a random dude exploring the land or whatever. What we could probably do is being like, yeah, you're a clan. You are a clan, you have people who follow you, but early on, you suck. You are a bunch of fucking people who barely have anything. You are a poor fucking clan. And your family is legitimately only in charge because you're in charge. That is the reason, and then you slowly develop from there. That could be interesting. I will probably talk with him tonight. I'll probably shoot some stuff back and forth with him to see what he wants to work on. But we might be able to make that work if we do... Here's the thing. I don't think we should have to worry about, oh, hey, do you have enough hands for harvest? No, that's not what this game's going to be about. It's not going to be about harvest maxing. It's going to be about, hey, are you making enough money? Will we be able, if we establish a few trade routes because we've got, good civics and we have guilds in them and stuff, will we be fine? It's about my home. I am a family man. What do I do? I am a family man. I'm doing things. How do I do this? Also, I see the 9.21 gigabytes out of 15 used. Physically painful for me. There will be a time where I'm going to have to pay Google for more space, and that is painful. I'm ready. I'm ready to fucking pay it. Finding is more warbands into formal armies. I mean, that could work. It's kind of like you start off with like a warband. Like, this is just a bunch of dudes. How long do you think it will be before you need to give Google your payola? At the current rate, we will most likely I'll need to give them probably about a year. At this current rate. I do know a lot of that is for some of the books. Not currently in the library. Once those get filtered out, I think it's going to drop pretty drastically, but they need to get filtered out, which is the issue. And that takes time. And time is something I rarely have. So, most likely what will also happen is that I will probably make like a backup folder for everything. Like, legitimately just save everything and make a backup on my SSD. And just start moving things gradually over there. I think that'll be a good idea. But I don't know when that's going to happen. Or when it will happen. I just know that it will happen. I mean, let's take a look at the, Tell me more about Perks. I want to learn about more perks. Settlement, increase your damage with axes. Captain. Tell me more, I wanna know. I don't think we'll be able to put in every perk, but we can probably put in some perks. Not all of them, though, and I don't plan on putting all of them in either. Because I don't think that's good. I don't think that's a good one either. Personally, I think that's very silly to put all those perks in. Because one of the big things is we need to make two assumptions. There's going to be two big assumptions if we're currently going in this direction. You're going to fucking die. You're going to die violently. And it's not good. So you're going to die. You're going to die. And what happens when you die? You're going to go to your successor. Or you're going to make someone inside of the clan. That is going to be your next successor. That's going to be your next character. Someone inside of the clan, or someone who is brought into the clan, like another soldier or something like that. So, we also need to make the understanding is that you need to, how do I want to work? You need to work for more for what's going to be the future than now. But that doesn't mean we have to completely remove personal beliefs. So we need to put in enough personalization to make it interesting. But I need to emphasize to characters, to players, like, hey, you're going to lose your character. He is going to die. He is going to pass away into the night, one night, and he is not going to wake up. Or he is going to get shot with an arrow in his skull, and he is going to fall off his horse and die. He is going to eat shit and die. I don't want to give characters too much stuff, if that makes sense. Because I don't want players to like, well, I no longer wish to continue because the character I've invested a lot of time and effort into and who has all these really great stats is now gone. I don't want to play anymore. I want them to be like, you get some cool things, but hey, here's the next generation. You can do different things with what you've learned, or you can go in a completely different route. Deep enough for you feel invested, not deep enough that you get too invested. That you're, it's like, oh, well, this is my super awesome, cool character. No, you get shot in the head with a crossbow, you fall over and die, and everyone makes fun of you. You shit yourself. So, alright. Okay. So I'm gonna say, we're gonna take this out. Mass battles is going to be a little bit wonky. Tournaments should be simple. Here's the thing. Tournaments should be simple. Tournaments are literally just going to be effectively mini games. There are going to be times for you to break up the pace a little bit. You go to a tournament, you do things, you make some checks, you win some free glory on your character, as well as improve your stats. But tournaments are also time to start with that soiree, you could say. We're like, ho ho ho, we want to do some soiree. Domain play, on the other hand, we already know we're going to be basing things around clans, and clans own things, so we need to make sure that people own lots of... We need to establish how clans function. That's going to be a part of the lore. because I have a feeling we're going to need to write lore. We're going to need to write a lot of lore. I do feel like we could probably put in some things to be a little bit fantastical, but it'd be more like hard than anything else. More the fantastical just contrasts how mundane everything else is. So, alright. Okay. I'm feeling decent. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it here. I'm gonna try to compile all of my notes together, and I'm just gonna ask some questions. I'm going to hand them these, be like, hey, these are our stats currently. These are kind of what the ideas of what they're going to work with. And it's like, hey, what do you want here? Do you want that early adventuring phase? Because if you want the early adventuring phase, we can't really afford to have this be as deep. Because there's the distinct chance that you will not reach it. There's a distinct chance. But if you want this to be a little bit more important, then we can start working with some things. Like, okay, the game is about managing this family, it's about managing a clan, it's about the life and times of the clan of Macduff or something. And we can also kind of work on how lore is going to look, and maybe that could inform us how the map might look. Because if it's like, hey, we want to do something King of Dragon Pass-esque, that's going to be a lot different than if, like, I want Europe. So, we'll work on that. We'll see what we can find. So I'm going to call it there. Videos this week, I've got one video hammered out. I know what I want to do with that video. Most likely, it will come out on Friday. I have a strange and beautiful feeling it will be a longer video, because I have some more meandering talks I want to kind of iterate on it a little bit. I want to talk about it a little bit. So I think it'll be more interesting that if it's a little bit of a longer video, so I can go a little bit more in depth about certain facets. Because the entire video is my usual JTRPG talk, except breaking down some more particular incidents and situations of how we get here, as well as why don't we see more. And then leading into kind of part 2 of the video is going to be culture informs games. That's kind of the main idea is culture is going to inform how a game is made, and introductions are going to really inform how things are made and such like that. So it's like, hey, do you want to, Japanese games, this entire video is about how Japanese games are and why they are the way they are now. If you are in another country who doesn't have these things, you can't just say, I want D&D. You have to say, hey, I want to bring my particular culture's necessities, the things that I want, the ideas that I want, in a single game. And I want to spread that idea out. Pretty much you need to find that independent strain. And I think that'll be interesting. I'm going to mention Tormenta. Probably Enchanted Country will get mentioned as more of a, hey, this is how things can get wonkier. It's a different strain of game design. Did it really take off? No, it didn't. But it's interesting that it did exist. And yes, Saturday we will be doing the Yaziba case. I'm ready for the Yaziba-ing. I'm not ready. Save me.